did in...
Yeah, Salakia. Salakia. But anyway, finishing up the lesson. So, going back here, Nahum 3:5, it says, "Behold, I'm against thee, says Yahweh of hosts, which I would discover thy skirts upon thy face." Yeah, just imagine, like, when you catch somebody in an act, like, say for instance, if you had a daughter that you took pride in, she looked good and all this other shit, but you found out when you come in the room and she got her skirt down, or her dress over her head, and then you, as a father, you're gonna be like, oh shit, what the fuck, because you didn't anticipate. You thought your daughter was different, but you find out she's nothing more but a HOE or 304, and you catch her with her skirt up, showing the whole neighborhood all our goodies. And that's how that's how the Most High is getting ready to catch this place. Basically, America's getting ready to get caught. She's getting ready to get caught with her pants down, man. All right, because she's a filthy, disgusting whore. And you got these Edomites out there that you call people, which, Esau is subhuman, to say the least. But you got these devils out here that you consider leaders and that you people vote for and put on these pedestals and X, Y, and Z. But yet, they ain't nothing but a bunch of low-life, filthy... Ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn devils, man. A bunch of weirdos. Like I made the account of Bohemian Grove, a bunch of Edomites running butt-ass naked in the forest, drinking blood, humping on one another, putting on masks and doing rituals. If you watch that movie called Him, I forgot the character that played him, but basically the dude kind of reminded me of Pat Mahomes a little bit. The dude that played the dude in Him. If you watch that movie, basically, they were showing you straightforward on what you got to do and sell your soul and what type of rituals and freak orgies that these people you call leaders are involved in. And yes, that includes Barack Hussein Obama, the one who you niggas put up on a pedestal as being the next Messiah, because when he became president back in 2008, niggas thought that Yahweh Shai came back. Chicago was a shit show the day that monkey got in office, man. And essentially after that, the whole housing market collapsed a couple of months after, man, because he didn't do a goddamn thing for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Okay, his plan was to help the rich, and that's exactly what he did. So these are the same people who you putting your faith and trust in? No, bro, they being exposed. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and set thee as a gazing stock, all right? Okay, and it says here, and it shall come to pass that all that look upon thee shall flee from thee and say, Niven is laid waste, who will bemoan thee? And whence should I seek comfort for thee? Yeah, because we, even though this is going into ancient Niven, it's the same practices, okay? From orgies to homosexuality. The king of Assyria was into cross-dressing and all this other wickedness, and the same thing that your leaders here in Babylon do, they was doing in these ancient kingdoms, and this is where they get it from, man. Okay, this is why the scriptures say, why does the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Because if you think that these are the people that gonna assume the identity of power forever, then you're sadly mistaken, because the spirit of the Lord is not rested upon these damn heathens, man. All right, so saying people like this can be saved, it's not gonna be the case. It says, art thou better than Pompolis? It says, no. That was a silate among the rivers and had the waters round about it, whose rampart was as the sea, and our walls from the sea. All right, because Nineveh had ports. Okay, they had bureaus there. You had markets and so forth. It was a complete city. And in the history, they compared it to like the different boroughs in New York, because you had different fronts in Nineveh, man, which was a very lucrative city. All right. So let's play a little more.
He did an undercover date with somebody, or he had, a female worker do an undercover date with somebody who works at the DOJ. And this person accidentally spilled the tea and said the quiet part out loud and let us know exactly what was going on behind the scenes with the Trump regime and what they're doing with the Epstein files. So listen to this.
Well, those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal, democratic people in those files.
Would you rather pay $1,000 a month or $10 a month for GLP-1s? Road checks your insurance.
Okay, so the Department of Justice acting deputy chief Joseph Schnitt said on the Epstein files, quote, they'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files and leave all of the liberal Democratic people in those files. So he was admitting up front what we all suspected. That, remember, there was that article that came out very early on in the Trump regime that they had ordered the FBI to redact Trump's name in the Epstein files. Now, I should also point out, when the Epstein...
See, and they supposed to, base their administration off utter transparency. Why they redacting Donald Trump's name from the file, and essentially it's to use against him in case he falls out of line of doing the elite's bidding. It's basically blackmail tactics. And I mean, what guy, think about it. What's a better guy getting shit done than a person who y'all got a bunch of dirt on? Because we got dirt on people, and Trump's whole ordeal is to have the benefit of the people. He want the people to love him, just like when he was Nero. So, you going to play ball, like he said in training day. He said, for anybody to trust you in his business, you got to have a little dirt on you. Meaning that if they got dirt on you, it's because they can expose it or blackmail you, and you going to do what they want you to do. So, he's going to push the New World Order. Okay? More than likely, he's going to push the chip. I don't see no other president outside of Trump, if there is another president, pushing an MOTB, because, it makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't he push it? He's pushing it now. I think he's giving them a year rollout from the time they announced it to get this 6G up and running or whatever. So they got to go warp speed with it. All right.
8 was subpoenaed and 23,000 Epstein emails were released. Guess who was the number one person referenced in those emails? It was Donald Trump. Out of 23,000 emails, he was referenced about 1,600 times more than anybody else, and they want you to believe that he wasn't referenced at all in the Epstein files. Okay, more. This is Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, and you guys remember this. He was on News Nation, and he said he knows that they're sanitizing the files and removing Republican names. Listen.
What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things, and the reason for the flip, is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
There you go. Literally even saying it's happening in Winchester, Virginia. Okay, well, look at this. Fox News confirms that the DOJ hid the identities of what they call politically exposed individuals in the Epstein files. Fox News Digital has learned that the same redaction standards were applied to politically exposed individuals and government officials. So this is a fancy schmancy way of saying we are absolutely positively going to protect the Republicans, going to protect Trump, going to protect the people in the regime, and we are going to immediately throw any Democrats that we possibly can directly under the bus. So look at this.
And this is another thing, too, that they go with this whole Democratic and Republican shit. Both sides are just as guilty, man. All right? They're basically of the same coin. It's the same coin, two different sides. You got heads and tails. And what does heads and tails have in common? They are part of the same coin. All right? Just like you got a bird that got two wings. Both wings need to be in tandem with getting the bird to its destination. Okay, one wing ain't gonna fly backwards while the other one fly forward. No. All right. In order for them to get to their destination, they have to be on one accord. Even if they're tricking the public and saying essentially this is what the Republicans want to do and the Democrats want to do, doesn't matter. Okay, same outcome, different methods of getting it, accomplished. Because essentially the Democrats nor the Republicans want that information to come out. Neither one wanted to come out, because if it all came out in full transparency, you'll see the Rothschilds in there, you see the Rockefellers in there, all right, the Clintons, everybody who you suspect, everybody that's in Congress for the most part, anybody that's in some type of position of power, judges, lawyers, prosecuting attorneys, celebrities, actors, rappers, whatever, ball players, all of them will be on that list. And I'm certain of that, because, what do you expect? Look at what the hell we at. This is America, man. This is Babylon the Great. All right? All things are legal. All things are possible here when it comes to wicked. There's no limit to the wickedness that the people want to go to, You want to be a fucking flaming mope and a drag star? Go right ahead. Nobody will say anything bad about you. Nobody will hold you accountable for it. But the minute you say you want to get another wife, then all of a sudden you're a bigot. You're a problem. You're a cancer to society. You need to be dealt with. You need to be outed. That's how wicked this place is. It's the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 16. It says, thou art filled with shame for glory. It reads, drink thou also and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Yeah, your nakedness. It says, the cup of the Lord's right hand should be turned against unto thee, and shameful spewing should be upon thy glory. Okay? And now Esau is being exposed because, like I said, hey, his kingdom is not, his kingdom is the mockery of ridicule, man. The Russians, the Chinese, the East Indians, the Iranians, everybody's mocking this dude because they're realizing, like, he's a base man. And it says, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoiled beasts, which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. Right? You know? Let's go here. Let's go to the book of Job 30. And let's start at verses 1. It says, but they now that are younger than me, than I, had me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. Job didn't win Esau around his dogs, man. You know? Yeah, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. But I'm going to go down here to verses, let's start at verses 8. It says, they were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, and now I am their song and I am their byword. Yeah, base men, they vile. You know, so sleeping with a man, or Edomites loving on a little boy. They had something which is called NAMBLA, which stands for National Association of Men and Boys Lovers. When grown-ass men can have legal sexual relations with little boys. You know, but you got niggas getting on us because we stated in the Bible it was lawful to take a wife younger than yourself. Even if it was by, you know, you grabbed up and you did your thing with her and you had to pay a dowry. Niggas are getting mad at us over something that's clearly written in the Bible based on their emotional sentiment. But this devil gets a pass. You know, unbelievable, right? Let's go here. Play a little bit more of this and I'll end it.
Ro Khanna reported that Kash Patel said he had 300 gigabytes of Epstein files. And guess what was released yesterday? Only 2.5 gigabytes have been released. That's less than 1% of the Epstein files were released yesterday. They are flagrantly breaking the law. Flagrantly. So again, we'll talk more in a little bit about what's being done about that. How about this? Entire documents and image and video albums redacted in today's release of the Epstein files. There's like a 116-page grand jury thing. Every single part of that completely and utterly redacted. Every single part of that. I mean, look at this. This is a joke. This is a joke. Most transparent administration in history, my ass cheeks, is all I have to say about that. All right, more. So this is where they forgot or they messed up and were attempting to redact everything involving Trump, but they missed some stuff. So look at this. Guess the DOJ forgot to redact these pictures of Trump found in Epstein's desk drawer. So if you look closely here, like many pictures in this, it's almost like he had a drawer full of Trump pictures. A drawer full of Trump pictures here. And then, of course, you have the Epstein picture with Mohammed bin Salman, the leader of Saudi Arabia. You have him with one of the previous popes. So, man, they had a lot of dirt on homie. It looks like there's literally a Trump drawer here. Also, you see like a stack of papers. I wonder what these papers are in the Trump drawer. I mean, this is stuff that should be released. By law, it has to be released, but they're refusing to release it. But they messed up and accidentally left in. You can see some of the Trump pictures here. Look at the bottom drawer here. See Trump's face. See another picture with Trump and a bunch of women in bikinis underneath it. So they fucked up. They did not mean to release this one. They certainly would have tried to hide this one. And by the way, they also, we'll talk about this more in a second, but when they realized they fucked up, they went back and tried to remove this stuff. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So the whole world saw it. They posted about it. They showed it. And then when it became clear to Kash Patel and the FBI idiots and the DOJ and Pam Bondi, they go, oh shit, Trump's going to be bad. Then they went back and removed it. Okay, how about this? Again, they tried to redact stuff, but they missed something here. The check Trump gave to Epstein for $22,500 for a, quote, fully depreciated woman has shown up in a new photo in the Epstein files where Epstein is pictured holding the check, standing next to a woman. Looks like Trump forgot to redact this because if you look at the check here, look at the bottom of the check. What name does that say? It says
All right, all this shit is really just a damn distraction. All right, at the end of the day, it's just a distraction because something big is coming down the pipe. They ain't gonna arrest nobody. Nobody's gonna get acquitted, or Slocky. Nobody's gonna get outed. None of that stuff. I mean, like I mentioned, you Americans, as much as you screaming Epstein files, you people ain't gonna do shit because you stupid. All right, you never did nothing. Hell, you are literally being taxed to death by an illegal entity, and you people continue to do. You don't say nothing about it. So, I mean, what you gonna do regarding this? Not a damn thing. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, okay? So I'm going to end it right there, giving all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. Until the next lesson.